Hey, hey, hey. Time for an out-of-this-world story from rSpace. Have you ever been colorblind to the red flags? Today on rSpace, the jig is up. Up first, sometimes the only way out is to set the whole house on fire, so there's no place to go back to. Trust is gone. Gotta break up. Help me on how to, please. I'm in a 4-year relationship, 45 male, with my partner, 39 female, and it's always been kind of bumpy. We had a few huge fights, and I feel like we never really solved our problems. We just moved on and put our issues under the mat. We've done one session of couples counseling, and I realized just there how much I don't trust her anymore. She lied in the past, around 1 year ago, in a business trip. Maybe she cheated, crashed totally drunk at her friend hotel room, male, from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. after a huge party. That was a congress in Miami. That's work. I found out by snooping in her phone. Bad stuff, please never do it. I did, and I regret it bitterly. I chose to believe in her story, forgive and move on. After a full year of working on my emotions and my faith in the relationship, she talks about a new business trip, but does it without any care for my feelings. I ask for words of reassurance. She can't promise me she'll never get drunk during a congress. Says I'm controlling, when actually I've come to learn through therapy that those are my boundaries and not an act of control over my partner. During couples counseling, she agreed that regardless whatever happened in that room, that was cheating. It was inappropriate. She understands for me from a rational point of view, but can't sympathize with my feelings. As she did nothing wrong with the guy and wanted to catch an Uber after sobering up a little. 6 dang hours to sober up? During individual therapy, I came to learn that she's gaslighting me and manipulating my decisions through my feelings. She's been physically and emotionally unavailable for a few months now. Even before the fight, we were not okay. I already have a support group waiting for me, my lovely family and the holiday season. She's on a trip now and should be back tomorrow evening. How do I do it? Do I insist in couples counseling and try to see things through? I have to break up, but I am super attached to her emotionally, and this could take a toll on me. I have serious issues with rejection and breakups. Honestly, OP, make it easy on yourself and just go while she's away. You're going to have worse issues than just with rejection and breakups if you continue to stay. I mean, this woman has driven you into therapy. A normal, healthy relationship doesn't necessarily bring you straight to couples counseling. And the fact that she's gaslighting you, manipulating you, and you're admitting to yourself that things aren't okay are huge signs that you need to go, like, ASAP. Update. Okay, I just broke up. Need support. Hello, everyone. Now I took the step. We're separated. I'm looking for a new home. Bring me good vibes and hopes for a better future. We all need to lean on somebody sometimes. This time is now. One quick reaction from the community. Congrats on doing the right thing. If you know, you can have some mental peace. I would suggest getting a little therapy. Just kind of talk things out. We'll give you some healthy perspective to go forward with. If you got friends and family, leaning on them will get you through this. Excellent. This is the beginning of very good things ahead of you. You should be extremely proud of yourself for taking this step. Like the comment said, if you got friends and family, lean on them. You will get through this. Update. I just outed my cheating wife and she finally moved out. Hello everyone. Okay, now things got a bit weird here on my side. Check this out. Please see link above or you'll get nothing out of it. Last week, me and my partner agreed on breaking up and ending our relationship. I took the initiative and talked to her about it. Since then, we've been cohabitating in a civilized manner while being separated. Thing is, out of the blue, she suggests we should have a farewell over wine and party one last time. I said, hell no, but, I'm sorry, I'm only human. After a few talks, I gave in. We rock and rolled all night, swore eternal love to each other, and made promises to work on our marriage. I know, I'm an F up. Next day, I'm all confused and all messed up during work. Hungover, what now? Then, I come back home, waiting for some connection to talk about last night. She was distant, didn't say a thing, and was avoiding physical contact. Basically, she was stonewalling me. She even took a nap to avoid contact. When she woke up, I had to ask, so what are we? And I get the cold-blooded, well, we talked before. Come on, last night we were intoxicated. Those were just words. Dude, I had to hear those words. Reality check, espresso. Then, today, I spent a lot of time reflecting on everything that happened in the last few days. I realized after some conversations with other people that, again, I was manipulated through my feelings and I gave up my body and my vows of love to a person who needs validation and admiration from third parties. narcissistic behavior, she saw that I was pulling away and regained control with sex and manipulation. I would still have to live with this person until the end of the year, or believe me, until January 7th, when the apartment would be handed over. I decided it was time to act. I didn't want this person in my life anymore. They have the key to get into my head. I needed to protect myself, and now it must be final. I went to her as soon as she got home from work and went over the list of reasons why our interaction should be minimal from then on. I said I felt used, abandoned, and lied to again. After that, I stood up and said that I didn't believe her story and that I would share the information with her supposed affair partner's wife. She followed me, threatened me with reporting abuse to the police, threatened me with revealing to everyone in our social circle that I was crazy, I'm bipolar, said that I would face dire consequences if I sent anything to her supposed affair partner's wife. I told her that I had my cell phone in my hand and I recorded all her threats, showed her, and she froze. Well then, I sent the message to the guy's wife. The message contains only dates, times, and facts that could be tracked down in Google Maps, Uber, and messaging apps. I told her the only facts that I was aware of and that they spent one night together in a business trip, but I had no proof that they had sex. See link above, okay? At no moment did the conversation escalate. There was no shouting, there was no physical contact, so I think I'm safe from any retaliation from her. But a bomb exploded in the guy's house today. She finally left. Her brother came over, took her in his car. She's out. I'm free from her spell. Did I escalate too much? Just in case, I filed a police report about her threats. Now let's see what the community responds with. Nope, you're only human. She definitely threw a Hail Mary by sleeping with you to try and confuse you, and at the least, keep her options open. That's all that was. It wasn't love, it was desperation of the unknown after separation. Staying strong and getting back on the horse when you're ready. The OP replies, yeah, I get that, but the point is, the crap hit the fan. I sent a message to her affair partner's wife describing facts, dates, and times that she could confirm by checking his phone apps, Uber, messaging, etc. She already read the message. My ex threatened me before sending the message. Serious threats. Did I F up by sending this message? The commenter responds, nope. She did that to herself as well as affair partner. All you did was expose the truth. If the truth is wrong, what the F are they doing? You did what was right for you and affair partner's spouse. The least you could do is give her the facts and let it play out however she decides. Your ex and the other guy robbed you guys of choice. You can at least give that to her. Plus, I'm sure it feels good to let that guy have some karma. It seems like all of your actions were necessary in order to really get the heck out of there and burn all the bridges that led her to you. Sometimes setting things on fire is the only safe way out. And like the comment said, she did it all to herself. You just pushed her out the door. What do you think? Do you think OP took it too far? Our last OP meets a lot of dogs, but this one takes the cake. Boyfriend lived a double life. Strap in, besties. So, my 23 female, now ex-boyfriend, 28 male, lived a double life for our 6-month relationship. For ease, we will call him John. I had known John for years as his mom was my manager at a care home. We were always very friendly, and even at one point his mom, my manager, tried setting us up. He then got into a relationship with someone else, and they were together for 2-ish years. We didn't speak much whilst they were together, but we weren't super close anyway, so honestly I barely noticed that we hadn't spoken for a long time. Anyway, they broke up at the beginning of this year. At this time, I was a dog walker and he had a dog. I got a random message from him one day after years of next to no contact, asking of good places to walk his dog around a specific area in our town. I of course replied, and I went with him around the area with his dog, and we went for a walk. 2 weeks after he sent the initial text, he told me he had broken up with his psycho ex and told me about all the unhinged things she had done to him through the relationship. Cheating, abusing, locking him out of the house, making him sleep in the spare bedroom because he snored, blah blah blah. Of course, after hearing about what he went through, I told him that if he needed me, I would be there, and also apologized for not being there at the time and not reaching out throughout his relationship. We began talking, then dating, and we got into a relationship. Everything was so lovely for a few months. He met my family. I already knew his, but didn't meet them when we were together. Should have been a red flag, but apparently I'm colorblind. He used to have a lot of work parties, and I attended one of them. They were field parties, very juvenile drinking and doing DRVGs in a field with music and a fire type of gathering. He had always asked that we don't post on any social media about us, or post selfies, etc., as he knows his psycho ex followed my Instagram and would have some abuse to hurl at me or him if she saw it. I was gullible and believed this to be true, because why wouldn't I? He was kind, loving, and never gave me any reason to doubt him. I completely forgot of his no social media rule at the bonfire field gathering and posted a blurry picture of the bonfire and 2 of his friends in front of it. He didn't say anything at the time, but all of this backstory will make sense in a minute. We then planned a getaway to Wales. He told me he had a discount for a specific website, and then we discussed where we wanted to stay, etc. He then booked it, and when I wasn't there, told me where it was, time, date, etc. I booked it off of work, and we were both very excited. The day before we were supposed to leave, he tells me the house had double booked, and we could no longer go. I asked to see the email, and he said he couldn't find it. This is where I start becoming suspicious. We decided to go to Cornwall instead and stay in their family caravan. Not as nice as the place we had booked, but it is what it is. We travel down on a 4-hour car ride, get set up in the caravan, and go for food. A few times, we would leave the caravan to take a call from his dad, sister of a friend. I didn't think much of it because a lot of the time he would say it was a work friend. He was a manager, so I thought, business as usual, they just need some advice, etc. He would sit in his car on these phone calls, which at the time didn't raise much suspicion. He would also, many times, go and lay in a spare room and watch films on his phone instead of sitting with me and watching them. This all felt a bit weird, but I didn't want to bring anything up and ruin the trip. We went for a drink on our final day there. He's on his phone a lot, and I'm playing with the dog and finishing off my drinks. He put his phone down on the table as he is pressing the off button. In the split second it was on, I see his ex's name pinned to the top of his messaging list with a message that had just been sent. Not only this, there were hearts next to her name. Again, very juvenile. I don't say anything at the time because I'm not trying to be stranded in Cornwall with no way back if it got heated and he drove off. So I keep what I have just seen to myself and act normal. Naturally, I'm texting my friends like, "You'll never guess what," and asking for advice. Most said confront him, but I didn't feel comfortable doing so when I was so far from home. We get home the following day and say goodbye, etc., and he goes back to his house. At this point, I'm curious as to what the F just happened on our getaway, especially because of all the nasty stuff he said about her, telling me she is blocked and will never speak to her again, etc. I message one of his exes who I was friends with in secondary school and ask what happened between them because I felt like he was lying and cheating with his recent ex. She tells me he cheated on her. So now I'm mad because I should have clocked it sooner or even branched out and asked this girl what happened, just as a little check. But it turns out the girl from secondary school knows his recent ex. Let's call her Molly. Molly ends up messaging me saying that my high school friend had told her about me and John and that she wanted to know the details of how long, how intimate, etc. I took my time replying because I was anxious, especially after everything I have been told about her. I go back to the message and start typing out a response. Before I can press send, she sends me a picture of 2 positive pregnancy tests. I stop typing and message John instead. I ask him if he's been speaking to Molly recently. He tells me no. I tell him I saw her name on his phone. He says it's because he wanted to see the dogs that they previously shared, and she had only just started letting him see them again. I ask him why he lied in the first place by telling me he hadn't spoken to her at all, and only now that he knows he got caught is he willing to tell me he's been going over to see their dogs. He doesn't reply. So I go back to Molly's message and we get to talking. Yes, they were broken up, but they hadn't stopped seeing each other. Not at any point in our 6-month relationship was there a week where he hadn't gone to hers at least 3 times. 3 times a week while in a relationship with me. At this point, I'm pissed off, especially after learning she's pregnant and that he knew all about it. I message him something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm sure you'll be a good father." He finally replies to my bait and asks how I know, if I have been talking to Molly, telling me not to believe a word she's been saying and that I should know him better and to believe him over her. At this point, she has phoned me and is telling me she's 6 weeks along. He's been sleeping with her, staying at her house most nights and or coming over in his work breaks if he was busy that night. Busy with me, the F. Anyway, he's trying to tell me she's lying and he likes me but thought we were just friends so no harm, etc. Friends? He asked me to be his girlfriend. Is he delusional? Meanwhile, Molly is telling me that she saw messages on his phone from me once, that one with the dog walking routes, and they got in an argument about me then, and since then, she has always had her suspicions about me, and him. She would constantly ask him about me, ask to meet me if we were just friends, valid point from her. She also goes on to tell me that he uninvited her from the work field party, the one I attended. I tell her I was there, and she said she knew already because she saw the picture on my Instagram, and her and John got in an argument about me that night too. I also found out that he was constantly reassuring her by telling her that he would never do anything with me because I was fat, I wasn't attractive, I was ugly, etc. All while he was hanging out the effing back of me. I tell her all of the things he called her to. She said she had messaged me weeks before asking me about me and John, but had deleted it because she didn't think it would be true and that she might have been making a mistake. Boy, I wish she hadn't deleted it. She also told me and showed me video proof of him abusing her, hitting their dogs, throwing one of the dogs across the room and body slamming her to the floor. She had hidden cameras so that she could get it all on evidence if she ever needed it. It also turns out his family and friend calls on the trip were her. I had never met his family because he had never told them about us. He never booked the initial trip to Wales. The Cornwall holiday was supposed to be for him and Molly. When he canceled the holiday with her, he said he was taking his cousin as she was going through a hard time. Lies after lies. I messaged John a few final messages and let him know she has told me everything, and he ignores me for a while before coming back with a message so long I didn't even read it. I say goodbye and tell him to have a nice life. I haven't spoken to him since, and she hasn't either. She has moved house as he began stalking her, sending her letters begging her for forgiveness and apologizing profusely. Turns out I was a side chick to a man who had a pregnant girlfriend that he still slept with and saw every single day. The OP adds, forgot to add, he was late to pick me up when we were driving to Cornwall. He called me and told me he was stuck in traffic trying to sort his oil out in his car for the drive, but actually turns out he was in bed with Molly, telling her how much he loved her and the baby and was excited for their life together. I did forget to add she got an abortion shortly after this all happened, as that was what was right for her, so please no judgment towards Molly as she made the right decision for her own mental health and everything he put her through. Thank you for all your supportive comments. I am okay and so is Molly. We're now very good friends. One quick community response. Girl, I'm sorry he lied to you for 6 months. Shake my head. I'm glad you found out sooner than later though. I hope Molly can also get peace of mind. No one deserves to be treated like that. Take care of yourself and be safe. Guys like John are weird. Glad you're okay. Wow. He was certainly a busy fellow, wasn't he? I mean, usually one person in a relationship is hard enough to manage, never mind two. Funny how he ended up trapped in his own web of lies at the end. Surely he must have known he couldn't have kept it up for that much longer. What did he plan on doing? Telling his baby mama that he had to leave to get diapers, end up going on a wild diaper run for a few hours, but he was really with you the whole time? The guy is delusional. Have you ever been the other person? Share your experience with us in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time.